Welcome to the Raw Spotlight podcast, where we feature inspiring leaders in the B2B space and share their unique stories. Let's get started with the show.
Welcome to the Raw Spotlight. She's Got Hustle, the podcast that shines a light on the bold, fearless women who are redefining what it means to hustle in business and life. I'm your host, Emily Au, co-founder of Ready Outwork, designer, marketer, and entrepreneur. I am passionate about highlighting the diverse journeys of women making an impact. In this podcast, we spotlight women hustlers from B2B businesses, niche markets, major brands, local ventures, and public sector organizations. Our guests share their strategic success stories and how they overcome challenges. We explore how they master their craft and balance passion with purpose. Whether you're building a business or leading a team, if you're looking for real talk and motivation from women who hustle, you're in the right place. So let's get comfortable, settle in, and get ready to be inspired. This is the Raw Spotlight. She's Got Hustle. So let's dive in. This episode is brought to you by Ready Outwork. We deliver uniquely tailored B2B digital marketing services to facilitate the long-term growth of your business. At Ready Outwork, we combine data-driven insights with innovative design to help your business succeed in the digital age. Our team of experts specialize in SEO, digital advertising, web development, and email marketing. We're here to help companies discover growth in unique and unexpected ways. To learn more, visit readyoutwork.com and request a free proposal. Let Ready Outwork discover your business's full potential. Now, on to today's guest, Felicity Porter, our talented marketing analyst here at Ready Outwork. Felicity joined our team with a background in business administration and marketing management from Cal Poly Pomona, and she's been making waves ever since. With her expertise in digital marketing and analytics, she quickly became an integral part of our agency. She's passionate about digging into data, optimizing campaigns, and delivering results for our clients. Outside of work, she is a creative soul, exploring digital illustrations, reading, and even training as an equestrian. And I'm excited to hear more about her journey, what drives her hustle, and her advice for anyone looking to break into digital marketing field. Welcome to the show, Felicity.
Thank you.
Hey, so you're a fellow Cal Poly alumni. Welcome. I want to, first dive into maybe your background and your journey into digital marketing. Let's start with what inspired you to pursue this career path in digital marketing, and how did your education at Cal Poly really shape you?
Okay. So to start, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that I'd be a marketing analyst. I thought I would be like ironically, a UI UX designer. So funny about that. But in high school, I was always interested in marketing, or I started becoming interested because I was learning about it more and more through high school clubs like FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America. And there you can explore a bunch of different business fields. So I went with marketing. I read the description for it and I thought that's really cool. So I wanted to try it. So then I started I started studying it more and then doing competitions with like team members based on it. And then I was like, okay, I want to cover this in college. So that's why I chose Cal Poly Pomona, because I heard great reviews about their business college itself. So that's why I went there. And when I first started there, I just thought marketing, period. I was like, it's just marketing. It's just marketing, right? It's not just marketing, Felicity from 5 years ago. It is digital marketing now. But I didn't know that. So when I took a bunch of classes at Cal Poly, I slowly started to realize that I wanted to go towards digital marketing because I knew that there was a growing demand for it. And then also it was just interesting, period. Like there was a lot of I was cared about like the psychology aspect of it, especially on the digital side.
Yeah.
And then how there's so many different digital tools at our disposal basically that are coming out. So that's kind of how I ended up through here, through Cal Poly Pomona, and then before that. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't know about the UI UX interest on your part, but I guess both UI UX as well as marketing have it still leverages psychology quite a lot. So I think you made a great choice. But how did you transition into the role here at Brady Outwork as a marketing analyst? And I know that's what you chose in school, but what attracted you to continue into this type of position?
hmm So a few things. So as you know, I started here as a marketing intern last year.
Hmm.
And from there went into marketing assistant, so working part-time with everyone. And I did that for about 8 months, I think it was looking back on it, but before I became full-time marketing analyst. And through that time period, through messing around with like data and like our marketing tools and like different projects, I'm realizing more and more that there's high value in how you approach data,
Hmm.
basically. And that interested me. And then what I also liked was that our team. So our team's pretty fun. Like I can crack Gen Z jokes all day and everyone has a field day with it, right? But also like everyone works very hard. Everyone's a problem solver in their own way.
Hmm.
And that really attracted me to want to continue down this career path with this specific team after graduation.
Yeah.
So that's what led me to, where I am now.
Yeah. Um, I know through one of our all hands meeting, not to toot our own horns, but then I know we have three core values: have fun, be humble, have fun, give a damn, right? Those three core values. And someone nominated you for having fun. So yes, we love the jokes, the little quirks that you have. It's yeah, it makes work fun. Uh,
Okay.
so what past experiences or skills have been most valuable in your current role as a marketing analyst?
I would say, I think like one primary word comes to mind, which is adaptable,
Mm,
because marketing, especially digital, is changing every single day, if not
mhm.
every single minute or second.
Yeah.
There's always certain like new tools coming out or new perspectives coming out, new behaviors, etc., that influence how we do marketing as a whole.
Mhm.
And if you're pursuing a marketing path, then I think it's very important to be adaptable because if you're stuck on one specific tool your whole career path, you're not going to get very far because there's a new tool coming out like next year, or maybe it was last year that everyone's switching to and it's more relevant now.
Yeah.
It's generating more conversions for clients or something else. So I think that being adaptable is super important in that sense. And also the problem solving side,
Mhm.
because I'm realizing through more experiences, more projects, more challenges, that there's not ever really a one size fits all approach. Like we
Mhm.
have to approach it with a clear mindset, like a whiteboard kind of, and like come up with new solutions.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'd say being adaptable is a huge one and like just being flexible overall. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I love that word adaptable. That's very well said. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah. There there are especially in our field, digital marketing, there are new things that come out. We just have to adapt. Yeah. Very
Mhm.
well said. I agree with you. How have your values of hard work, persistence, and management influenced your approach to your career so far?
Okay. So those three terms, so hard work, persistence, and management, they kind of work intertwined, in my opinion. They're almost like three ends of a triangle
Mhm.
because they work together for your overall output as a marketer. For example, for hard work, you basically need to work hard to get results. They don't really come to you, so you have to look for it and act through it. And then persistence, that's another thing. So you have to persevere through challenges and obstacles. You're
Mhm.
always going to have some.
Yep.
So I'd say perseverance is super important and or persistence, um, either way. And then management is important because that's basically describing how you work with people that are like on your team, for example. And if you don't know how to do that, or you don't know how to manage or just collaborate at all, then you're not really maximizing the work output that you and your team are producing.
Mhm.
So I'd say that influences my approach because I try to think about that when I'm doing
Mhm.
work or when I'm collaborating with team members, or thinking about new solutions.
I see. So you're saying like those are kind of the points of your triangle, and you're trying to find a balance within that for your career.
Right. Like, is there a point where you work too hard or you use your team too much, or maybe you're not persistent enough? So I'd say there's just a good balance, like you said. But
Right. Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I guess for you see it as a triangle, I see it as like a Venn diagram, and each of
Mhm,
them has a circle, and where does that all overlap, I guess. That's also another way of looking at it too, I guess.
mhm. Designer.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're a data person, so maybe you're using the triangle as a map. But
Yeah.
so can you share maybe a success story from your time at Ready Artwork that you're particularly proud of?
Yes. So when I started full time here, there was one project where the problem basically that a client had was having more lead generation for an event that they were hosting. And basically, when I approached it with different team members, basically, I really liked how we took it as an omni-channel approach.
Hmm.
So we had the primary supporting channels for this overall campaign
Hmm.
and very clear goals, very clear um, way of getting there, basically. And one of the channels that we had was social advertising on Meta. And basically, the total ad duration was like 7 or 8 weeks or so.
Hmm.
And we met the client goal of lead generation like 2 weeks into the actual running of the campaigns, which was excellent.
That's great.
Yeah, so targeting was spot on, the messaging was spot on. We really took our findings from the previous year for this client and applied them well
Hmm.
and generated really good results. We had a lot of qualified leads for this client, which they now have at their disposal for future communications. So it was a really successful campaign. That really stands out to me.
Yeah. And how did you um what was your involvement with the project, and what was the most enjoyable part during this whole process?
Hmm. I had different roles, I feel like. I feel like I put on like a strategizing hat, but then also an executor hat, like not in an intense way, executor. But I feel like both of those roles really helped with learning opportunities.
Mhm.
But so I had both roles. So I would help plan everything out with the team, planning out different touch points with basically leads overall. And then for the event itself. And then actually producing like the ad content, pushing those out, the email marketing, um, yeah, different items like that.
That's very cool. That's a great little case study. Um, well, I know I work with you, obviously, so I know that you're really keen on honing your skills and then also acquiring a lot of certifications. But for everyone else to hear, what skills or certifications do you think are most essential for the success in this industry?
Hmm. I would say, so it really depends on your career path because, as I mentioned, marketing is such a big area, or there's a bunch of different pathways you can go with it. But if you're just starting out, I would say anything really, like those free certifications that Google has, or YouTube videos are a good place to start, or um, any really like thought leadership. But once you have that honed down for yourself, like what career path do you plan on going to?
Mhm.
Uh, HubSpot is a great resource. And
Mm.
then Google also still has those free certifications, which are great. But at least with your determined career path, you can figure out, okay, do I need to focus on SEO tools like Google Analytics or Google Search Console? Or do I want to approach pay-per-click advertising, so Google Ads? Or if you want to learn about other channels relating to your career path, like Meta Blueprint, that's also an option as well.
Mhm.
But anything that really relates to a more holistic perspective. So if you wanted to look at overall digital marketing, for example, and then once you have that honed down, you can really figure out, okay, I really want to learn more about SEO and what tools I have available
Mhm.
or different channels, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, if someone's considering this digital marketing field, what advice would you give to those that are actually considering this career path?
hmm One thing that I learned a lot through my experience was that you should start early, earlier than later. I always say, right?
How early?
As in, okay, so from my experience, right? In my second year of college, I started my first internship as a marketing assistant.
Very impressive.
Thank you. It was very broad, but the positive part of that is that since marketing's so big, at least you can mess around with different areas and really figure out if you want to do this certain area or if you don't want to and you're like, ah, that's boring to me.
Mhm.
So starting early, like I say second or third year, I don't recommend waiting till your fourth year because then it becomes more competitive.
Mhm.
So starting like your second year, I recommend looking for internships when possible and just messing around with those different fields.
Mhm.
And once it's more refined, then you can go after more internships regarding those areas, like what you really want to focus on.
Mm.
And after you start early, I would say just having a career path for yourself is always good because I'm sure a lot of other college students can relate about the whole like after you graduate, you're like, oh, I just need like summer break, right? But then
Yeah.
that summer break becomes like 10 months later or 12 months later. So I think it's important to keep yourself on track. So if you already know what you want to go after, which you would have already prepared yourself for by starting early, then you should basically set yourself up for success and start that whenever you have that path figured out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes with a lot of self-motivation too, and then willpower to actually do it. Yeah, to start sophomore year in college is, yeah, that's a lot of self-motivation. I wish I had that advice when I was at that age and not wait until, I graduate. Then I'm like, now what? Yeah. Well, let's talk
Yeah.
about self-motivation, like personal motivation and your hustle, right? What drives your hustle and determination in life, both personally and professionally?
hmm So both personally and professionally, I've never really been someone that stays in one place my whole life, or even
Mm.
like I don't know, it gets boring after like a month if I'm sitting at the same place, same skill set, same knowledge, right? So I've always had that drive to be someone that learns something new or seeks out information or
Mhm.
new activities because I believe in growth mindset, or in your case, hustle, right?
Mhm.
Being self motivated. I've always just had that characteristic. And so I apply that professionally with like how I take on like challenges, learning experiences, and then just apply it. And then personally, I do that to get better at like my hobbies or setting myself up for success, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that growth mindset is, yeah, it's a good angle to look at in life, whether it be personal or professionally. Yeah. Yeah. I do see you like to move around quite a lot. Sometimes you're at your desk, sometimes you're at the patio, sometimes you're somewhere else. So I do see that.
That's very true.
Yeah. How so I mean, I know that you're into horses, equestrian, right? How has that experience influenced you with, your mindset, your approach, uh, in your work life even, or in digital marketing?
Hmm. I would say so with any sport, I mean, because this is technically a sport,
Hmm.
equestrianism, you're going to experience ups, downs, breakthroughs, right?
Yep.
And with horses, unexpected challenges. I have been kicked off before, but the point is that the perseverance is really there.
Right.
And to reflect that, like I've had competitions where I feel I've learned a lot and I don't apply it, and then I
Mhm.
mess up or something just goes wrong. And then I have to reflect on it and be like, oh, I messed up. Um, how do I do better next time?
Mhm.
And so sport wise, it's a good way to kind of condition your mindset to apply to your work
Mhm.
overall. So I apply that to work in sense that if there's something that goes wrong or I didn't perform to my best capabilities, then I reflect on myself and then think like, how can I be a stronger person in this case? Because you can't ever escape challenges or obstacles. There will always be those that I'm starting to realize.
Mhm.
So no matter if it's like what sport it is, I think that that's definitely a good application to have and practice that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think, yeah, sports really kind of shape you on how you deal with problems and wins or failures or whatnot, or unexpected issues that come up, right? Like you said, it could be a horse having a bad day and it's out of your control, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes a lot of sense. Um, Before I get into future goals, sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. Going back into, the ready artwork, I kind of want to pick your brains a little bit on what has been your favorite project so far, and what impact did you have, on that project or client or the team or whatnot?
Mhm. For this year, we had this client, this B2C client that basically there was a challenge in terms of year-over-year sales for this month. And so our team basically came up with this and like totally new, never existed idea, which was to have this new sale basically for the client. And this impressed the client because we presented this option for growth basically.
Hmm.
And what ended up happening was our team basically took this idea and we transformed it into this big email campaign, an
Hmm.
SMS campaign. And through working together, so I worked on the email and SMS marketing in this case, and or I helped with it and then planning for it as well. It led to over 200% year-over-year growth in overall e-commerce sales. So that was a great win for our team, for our client. Um, so that just represents, or that's basically like my favorite project because I really liked our approach to it, how
Hmm.
we took something out of thin air and made it
Yeah.
this huge growth um, point in the client and our experience, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impressive. Impressive. So it was um, a campaign that we developed, right, from thin air, like nothing, basically. And we were able to strategize, plan, and then also execute, but also brought true results to the client. And you said it was 200% year over year growth. Is that what you said?
Yeah. It was over 200%. It was
Over 200.
crazy.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Impressed. That would be my favorite project too. But yeah, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look a little further into, maybe into the future, goals and, what it looks like somewhere down the line. What are your future goals within the digital marketing field, and what skills are you looking to develop in the near future?
So for future goals for myself and this specific position or industry, I would say that one of my goals is to think more strategically or long term when it comes to our accounts and
Mhm.
projects. I think that sometimes it's easy to think short term in
Yeah.
terms of solutions or what exactly you're doing for this client.
Mhm.
So I think it's important to think strategically just to make sure that there's long-term growth because we're not here for short-term growth.
Mhm.
We're here to help businesses achieve their full potential or
Mhm.
beyond that, right? And so I think that's one big skill I want to specifically work on. And then also more refined problem solving. So with new projects, there's always going to be a problem that we're trying to solve. And
Mhm.
so I want to make sure that for me, I'm maximizing the opportunity.
Mhm.
Like, are there any missed opportunities to make this project an even bigger success? So I think that's a big thing.
Mhm.
And the last thing is I would say thinking outside the box a little bit more and then also applying it.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's easy just to think like what's at my disposal in terms of how I can answer this problem versus thinking outside the box, like
Mhm.
with that B2C campaign that I mentioned. So I think that's a big one and it can generate really big wins for clients. So I think that's a big one for me.
Okay, so it sounds like um, step back to take a look at the bigger picture, not get too zoomed into the particular issue or problem, but really strategically look at the whole landscape, what's happening, and offering resourceful solutions for the project or the client. Sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Sounds great. So for you, I guess, where do you see the digital market heading in the next 5 years? And how do you plan to stay ahead to continue your growth?
Okay, so for this question, I know that AI has been a big talk the past few years.
Hmm.
Right now, I am prospective of it not going away. I think it's going to become a bigger entity in the next 5 years and beyond that, definitely. And along with AI, I do think that there's going to be more personalized consumer experiences. So we'll be seeing more personalization in like messaging or the different channels that we have to offer for marketing, and then also social commerce. So I think that there will be quite a lot of growth there, no matter what channel, and then also video marketing. I think that there's different attention spans that we've been seeing over the past few years. So I think that with that comes marketing that'll need to be tailored to that.
Hmm.
So with all these changes, I think that we can stay ahead by keeping track of any industry changes or tools that we should be implementing that relate to those different areas. And then also keeping myself and the team up to date in terms of how we apply it so that we maximize potential for our clients and then for our agency as well.
Hmm. Wonderful. I have one last question for you um, before we end today. But what are some of your favorite tools or software that you use on your day to day at work?
Favorite or all?
Favorite. Let's have a top three favorite.
Okay, I was like, I can't pick one, Emily. I need to have like a list of
I
all.
know we have a list of tech stack. I know exactly what you're thinking, but
Yeah.
let's just hone into top three for
All
fellow
right.
fellow marketers out there.
Okay, I'm going to start with number one, my favorite so far. My favorite is Active Campaign
Ooh, I
because,
love that too.
right, I know. I love Active Campaign because it's easy to use. It's has so many possibilities, I feel like, compared to other tools. I really enjoy the automation builder. Like I feel like you can automate almost everything on there and just make up new positive experiences for consumers or contacts. And they're always coming out with new updates that are really cool, and I like the integrations that they have as well.
Hmm.
So Active Campaign's definitely my favorite. I love their tagging, makes me go crazy, and their organization. And I would say second is probably SEMrush. SEMrush always has new updated tools, and they have really good insights overall and position tracking, items like that. So I really enjoy that tool. It's great for SEO, and now they've expanded into social ad tracking or different items like those. So I think that's a great tool. And my third one My third one, I'm between two. I'm between Klaviyo and Google Analytics 4. Because Klaviyo, well, it's, in my opinion, it's not as advanced as ActiveCampaign, but they still have good segmenting tools, and they have their own. I like their SMS features because it's really easy to use.
Yes.
But Google Analytics 4, completely different from Klaviyo. But
so final answer, which one's your third one?
Okay. I'm going to go with Google Analytics 4 because I look at it almost every day. I feel like there's so many things you can find within that platform.
Yeah.
Like it's a marketing necessity.
Yeah.
So that one will be my third favorite.
Love it. I mean, Google Analytics 4 is an essential tool for marketers nowadays. So if you don't know how to navigate around Google Analytics 4, you better get on it. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a wrap on our conversation here with Felicity today. If you want to dive deeper into her story and her incredible work that she's doing, check out her profile here at readyoutworks.com on the Teams page. Felicity, thank you for sharing your journey and inspiring us all today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Raw Spotlight podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.